What an intro, thank you. So humbled to be here with so many distinguished people, especially for Xenia and Simon. Thank you for allowing me to come here and share the mahi that I do, the work that I do within the community, and also support your kaupapa and your journey and everything that you do as well. It's right, I did come from a very low socioeconomic sort of childhood, which is quite familiar. I know it does happen in every country. You do see it quite a lot. The only thing is we're not always exposed to it. So I guess in a sense, this is how I started my journey. I wanted to be a voice for people that live in this lifestyle now, so that it gives them a voice to say, look, I went through that too, can I speak with you? So when I grew up in Christchurch, we grew up, my father was a spray painted panel beater, and by all that knew him, loved him a lot. But he came from a history and a childhood of a lot of demons. Something that comes to mind is God save the children trapped in the game, living in fear, hiding their pain, battered by devils, feeling their wrath, and then doing the same. That was my father. He knew no other way to raise children other than a jugboard or a beating. So for us as children, I have a twin sister. I don't speak very much about her because her pain from our childhood is hers, so I don't go too much into it. So we used to get beaten quite a lot because we didn't know how to conform or how to react to this thing. So beatings were regular. One time Tracy got caught shoplifting. She ran away to a friend's house. I knew where the friend lived. I got forced to take her to escort father to the house. When he picked her up, he came to the car, and all I can remember was him just punching her, a 10-year-old girl, in the face, repeatedly. That was the example he was setting to us. We didn't know what love was, we just knew how to fear it. Later in life I learned about Stockholm Syndrome, where you try to start to empathise with the person that's assaulting you, or whether it's a husband at the time, or a partner, or whatever. You learn to start to endure something just to get a little bit of love at the end of it. And for me, that's how I live my relationships. I fortunately have a fiance now here, Brooke, who loves me unconditionally, is willing to go through all of the trauma that I went through, and now I go to try and help others. So how do I do that? So a while ago, I partnered up with a great man called Damien Ryder. Hands up who knows this man. Inspiration and one of the most best sort of humans you'll have in your life if all you do is follow him. Damien was the same as me. He went through systemic and hereditary abuse when he was younger, and like me, spent 3 decades of his life trying to hide it, trying to put up a front, trying to show others that we were men, when really, as 30-year-olds, we were still children. So every year, I just want to mention Child Safe. So we just recently partnered up with, Damien recently partnered up with Child Safe. So every year we have what's called PACA, Paddle Against Child Abuse. We have a Child Abuse Awareness Week that we run now every January. January, Joe? Awesome, brother. So we'll do it every year. So this year, as part of the big 3, everything I do is in 3s. So I did 3 big events. So the year before, Damien had ridden from Malulabar to Gold Coast, and he did it on a 100-kilo bike. So my goal was to pay homage of sorts to Damo, so I did a 150k ride of it, finishing in the same spot. The second one, Joe, myself, Rosie and others, we were up in Redcliffe, and we got a lot of the younger community together, and we did a paddle. And then we all sat in a circle and we spoke about the things we were grateful for and how much we loved being in the environment of each other, how we felt a solidarity with each other. And then for the third one, I really had to think hard. And I just previously, a couple of months before, I had a friend, she was 39, she passed away from cancer. And I thought, wow, we both grew up in the same gang, families, whānaus and whatnot. So we both experienced the same things, but she came and she gained so much strength, and to see her life had passed away, I felt I needed to do something to pay homage to her as well. So at the funeral, I happened to meet a lady who was a case manager for high-risk children. So we were in Brisbane at the time, and I said, oh, whereabouts do you live? Whereabouts can I come and talk to these children? She goes, oh, we live in Cottonvale. I was like, where's Cottonvale? She goes, it's out west. And I was like, oh, Australia is massive. How far west? And she says, just over 200 k's. I said, I'd love to come and speak to these children. She goes, okay, that's fine. let me know when you want to drive over. I said, I don't want to drive. I'm willing to put my body on the line to show these children how much someone is willing to sacrifice their own physical self and how much how much mental strength you can gain through adversity by building resilience. So I said, I want to walk out to these kids. So after 3 nights and 2 days of going completely west, camping on the side of the road, listening to feral pigs get attacked by dogs and having to wade through creeks that should have had a bridge, I made it to these children. One child, who was a young boy, was 9 years old, was used by gangs to break into factories and houses. He was 9 years old with little gang tablets. Had he not been taken in by this family, who knows where his life would have gone at 9 years old. There was also a young girl as well. Unfortunately, her parents were drug addicts. They had no money, so for a way for them to get money was to use their daughter for sexual favours who was 12 years old. So I went there and I spoke to these children. I spoke to Leona, the high-risk case manager for these children, and I got to speak about Child Safe, as that was the main reason I was there, was for the Child Abuse Awareness Week. So that's how far I was willing to go. In a sense, it's like, well, if a picture paints 1,000 words, then telling your story speaks volumes. Now, if we can share that story with others, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it affects everybody, but there may be someone here that knows somebody, and that somebody may open up to you one day. And when they do, are you going to have the resources and the knowledge how to direct them into the right direction to help them make that next step? So being here gives you that resource. At least you know, well, do you know what, I have a 30 to 40-year-old friend who's just opened up to me. I don't know what to do or what to say, but I do know this guy, Corey, from the Big Three, who I met through Xenia and Simon at the ARC. Maybe if I get in touch with them, I can get in touch with Corey. Doesn't matter if it's now, a year away, 3 or 5 years. When the opportunity does arise, use these resources to help each other. The best way to stop normalising abuse is education. When we were going up through school, when me and my sister didn't go to school for a month or so because of what my father did, nobody said anything. When we couldn't go swimming because of the welts on our legs were so deep and painful, the teachers said nothing. Now, with Child Safe Australia, where they go and they actually tell children, we're going to nominate a teacher, who do you trust? Then those children can then go to that teacher. Because not every teacher, not everybody, we all want to be that person that can save someone or help someone, but that person needs to find a certain trait in that one person that they can open up to. So don't be offended if it's not you, but just know that there are people and resources out there that can be that voice for you. So by implementing Brave Little Bear, what we're doing is we're teaching children about what's appropriate and inappropriate. Who can we talk to? If I'd known that as a child, maybe then someone might have stepped in and told my father, you need help. Your children are beautiful, they're doing nothing wrong, maybe you should try this way to start to punish your children and whatnot. So when I started, I'll backtrack a little bit. When I was 15, my twin sister and I, we lived by ourselves. By the time we were 10 years old, she was smoking. We had no rules, no restrictions. So by the time our mother came back in our lives, she didn't know how to handle us. So by the time we were 14, we were kicked out on the street. Tracy ended up going to her partner, who was a gang member. I ended up staying with an unknown pedophile. It was months later until I told my cousin, I don't know why, but this guy keeps giving me sleeping tablets to go to sleep at night. I didn't know why, but I passed out. And then he told his father. His father told my uncle and auntie. They came and took me out of the house. I wish I knew sooner what was inappropriate and what was appropriate. What was grooming? I had no idea. This man just loved me like a father. I knew no other father. For me, whatever he was doing, I was accepting because I wanted love. This guy loved me like a father. Yeah. So it's very sad. So fast forward again, where I happened to meet Damien. Damien, as I said, had gone through the same adversity, and he built this resilience. If you stand next to the guy, you feel like you're standing next to this mountain with this big smile and big white teeth. He's an amazing man. So we started to do Packer, and I realised that his voice resonated with me, and then I started thinking, what if my voice resonates with someone else? And so they've formed the big three: strive, thrive, live. Live the life that you deserve by growing through challenges. And don't just accept the ones that are put on you, but try to start to take other challenges, like, not as such, walking 240 Ks. It could be a 5K park run, it could be anything, but it has to push you physically. I realised as I was walking out west through the gap, I rang Brooke and I said, "Brooke, I'm lost." She goes, "What do you mean you're lost?" I said, "Well, GPS doesn't work down Wild Pig Creek Road. I don't know what's going to happen." And she said, I hope you're okay. And I realised then that I wasn't afraid that I was getting lost, I was afraid I was lonely. By doing these small challenges, you're going to start to bring out small things, like maybe insecurities or things that are holding you back. Now, once you put yourself in this situation, and it was a life and death situation, I'll say that much, I realised I had to push through to the next day. So I made it through the next day. Brooke ended up getting in contact with some friends. They brought me some Powerade. They didn't know what kind of food to get, so they brought me sausage rolls and pies. But yeah, so as such, I'd like to say that we don't have to know everything. We don't know how to fix everything. But we can definitely start to educate ourselves on what's inappropriate, what's appropriate, and who we can use to start to help us help other people. If you are someone that is passionate about helping people but don't know where to start, you can start investing your time or your resources into those that are already doing the work.
That's right.
General George Patton said you can lead, follow, or get out of the way. Right? So even if getting out of the way means making way for your friend to come through and help them, that's the best way you can do it. So I would like to say, just please do invest in what Xenia and Simon are doing with Brave Little Bear, because not everybody is good at reading. It's not everyone has the patience or whatnot to sit there and to read a book. But some children like cartoons. They like animation. They like the sounds, the very basic, anything really. So this would be a great resource to put into schools. And yeah. So I'd like to thank you for your time, listening. By all means, do check out the big three, My Sweat for their Tears, Strive, Thrive, Live, and also at the Arc. Yeah, thank you.